Welcome to The Jeweler's View. I'm Courtney Gray, metalsmith, educator, and creative business strategist. After 25 years in the jewelry industry, running one of the country's top metalsmithing schools, coaching artists, advising companies and organizations, and hosting interviews with some of the best in the craft, I finally created the kind of support I wish I'd had from the start. This podcast is a part of that. Each week, I share the lessons I had to learn the hard way so you can build a rhythm that supports your creative work, your values, and the life and business you actually want. Find tools, coaching, and my Transform course at CourtneyGrayArts.com, and let's get to work. Hey there, welcome back to The Jeweler's View. It seems like every artist that I meet, every coaching client, every student runs into similar blocks. One is that pause before hitting send. They think, I don't want to bother people. What I have to say isn't important. I don't know what to say. Or lately, what I hear a lot is the world feels too heavy right now. No one wants to hear from me. What I'm doing seems insignificant, right? But here's the truth. There's always something happening in the world that's more severe. If we wait for the perfect moment to connect, we'll never send anything at all. Because your newsletter isn't about timing. This is about presence. It's a gentle way of saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm still making cool things, and I'm available for what I do best. Last week, we talked about how connection is currency, how your creative business grows person by person, conversation by conversation. Well, your newsletter is that same idea, just multiplied. It's how you turn dozens of small connections into a steady rhythm of communication. Your list doesn't start with thousands of names. It starts with 10, 15. 10 people you already know. Think about this. Past clients who've bought from you, students who maybe took a class from you or asked you a question, friends who love your work and tell others about it, and family who've supported your journey. That's your first list. You're not marketing to them. I want to reframe this with you. You're simply keeping them close. That's how every strong network begins. You don't need some fancy template or perfect subject lines. You just need honesty, rhythm, and a willingness to be seen. That's probably the hardest part, a willingness to be seen. A newsletter isn't about selling. It's about staying visible and building trust. It's your way of showing up without the noise or competition of social media. It's your own little space to say, here's what's happening in my world. And that world, it's rarely perfect or polished. What I keep hearing, we are in a truth deficit right now. People are craving authenticity. I know I am. What feels ordinary or mundane to you might be fascinating for someone else. Your messy bench, your sketchbook full of half-finished ideas, the story behind a single piece that you just completed, even a week where you didn't make anything at all, but you thought about what you wanted to make next. That's what connection and authenticity looks like. So here's some practical things, what to write, some authentic ideas. If you're starting at a blank email, wondering what the hell do I send, start here. Keep it simple. One thing you can send, studio snapshots, a peek at what's on your bench or what you're experimenting with, what's inspiring you right now. Another thing, personal reflections, what's working, what's not, how the season feels for you. Let people see your human side. Don't be afraid to be real here. Process stories. Share how a piece came together or almost didn't. You could share a favorite tool, a show that you're excited about, another artist that you admire, even architecture you walk by that inspires you or nature. And of course, you can always include an invitation to a show, to a restocked gallery on your website, a class, or even a conversation. None of it has to sound like an ad. I think this is where people get confused with what this is about. This is an update. It's a window into your world. If once a week feels impossible, maybe start with once a month, even every other month. Choose a rhythm that you can sustain this year. And I want you to stick with this. The power is in consistency, not volume. Each message is a small deposit of trust. And over time, that trust becomes loyalty, referrals, and yes, hopefully some sales. Because when people feel connected to you, they don't need convincing. They're going to show up because they're thinking of you, because you're reminding them, I'm here. This is what I do. This is what I'm about. Don't overthink this, my friend. If they don't want to read it, they'll skip over it. They'll delete it, or they can unsubscribe. But trust me, people want to hear from you. They want to see what you're doing. They want to hear what you're up to. This week, if you haven't done this yet, I want you to put it on the calendar. If that's for the new year, great. If it's for next week, even better. But I want you to begin. Make a simple list. If you're starting from scratch here, no worries. 5, 10 names. People who already know you, admire your work, or have supported you. Write one short email. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need a bunch of photos. It just has to be you. A note about what you're working on, what you're curious about, or even what you're pausing to reflect on. Hit send. That's it. You've started a rhythm, right? You've started a new ritual. Remember this. Your newsletter is not a marketing tool. It's a connection tool. It keeps the door open for the people who care about what you make and how you move through the world. You don't need to convince them of your value. You just need to remind them you're still here. And from there, the magic of word of mouth does what it always does. If this episode gave you a nudge, again, share it with another maker who's been hesitating to reach out or putting this off because of discomfort. And if you're ready to stay consistent, this is all the good, juicy stuff that we cover in Transform. You can find all the details of what I offer. I'd love to help you in any way that I can at CourtneyGrayArts.com. Now, take that deep breath, open your inbox, and remember, connection starts with one message, one person at a time. I'll see you next week. Onward and upward. Thanks for listening to The Jeweler's View. If today's episode gave you something to think about, consider sending it to a friend or share it on social and tag me at Courtney Gray Arts. You'll find tools, coaching, resources, and the Transform course at CourtneyGrayArts.com. And if no one's told you this lately, remember, you're not behind. You're becoming exactly the kind of maker your business needs. And that kind of depth, it takes time. I'll be back next week, same time, same tough love. Onward and upward.